Are you really too busy to exercise? I've got your quick fix workouts to satisfy your desire for tone, strength, and metabolism right here. Think you really have no time to exercise? Or maybe you're just using that as an excuse because you have not bonded with exercise. Either way, I'm going to have you thinking again. I'm going to give you four of my all time favorite ways to get in a strength workout in anything from 10 to 30 minutes if you've got all of that. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to Flipping 50, where I address your top struggles and concerns and I share what to eat, how to move, and how to change your mindset so that you can have the energy and the vitality that you want, need, and deserve in this second and better half. And today I'm diving into probably one of the most common questions that we all share at one time or another. Whether you, like me, are feeling in the morning when you get up, you've got lots of time to work out, but then you squeeze yourself right out of that by doing one more thing, getting pulled into answering emails before you actually do the workout, realizing now you've just lost that window of opportunity. Am I the only one who does that? All right. So, if fitness expert does it, it's probably much more common. It's not just you. Before we dive in to these really solutions to no time, too busy to exercise, this episode was sponsored by the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist and Business Building Mastermind. We've gone through a horrific 20 to 22 months in the fitness industry. For some people, that's been a huge opportunity. I've been very fortunate. I was already online, started that process in 2013. I was ready and I was waiting. I didn't have to pivot, although we all had to pivot a little bit. I was here waiting and ready. And now it's my time to pay back. So I want to help you if you're a health coach, you're a fitness professional, and you are wanting, you are made to have a bigger reach, to have a bigger influence and impact than you're finding you're able to do on your own. I'm giving a masterclass on Thursday, and it's open to the public where I'm going to show you how I went from zero to six figures a month. And you can too. I'll put the link in the show notes if you are great with your memory. It is flipping50.com/specialist dash masterclass. That is for you if you're a health coach, you're a personal trainer, you're a small studio or a business owner, or you want to be. All right, let's dive into this. You think you're too busy? Well, good news. First, doing longer and more isn't actually hormone balancing. Your long, drawn out workouts probably sabotage more than support your hormones. And remember, hormones, after all, it is they, that determine if you store or burn fat. A tired and drained body can't lose fat. If you use heavier weights, which your metabolism and bones, by the way, will thank you for, it takes fewer repetitions. Huh. So, how long can it take to do 5 or 6 repetitions, right? So, these coming up are my go to workout solutions to no time to work out. And, sister, we're talking strength training above all else. Sure, there's yoga and Pilates, and there's bar, and there's walking, there's spinning, and there's running. But when you strip away all the options that are less crucial to your survival and to your optimal aging, it gets real easy to choose. These remain interval training, stretching, and strength. So if you are due for a strength training workout, do the strength. So again, the three key pieces for longevity and optimal aging are intervals, stretching, and strength. But the greatest of these is strength. It's not Corinthians, but it is flipping 50. All right, number one, drop sets. So there is something, this is also something I refer to as monster sets. So you're doing basically a monster set or drop set. It is, in fact, scary. So, you would find the heaviest weight you can lift, of course, safely. I hope I don't have to tell you that. You find the heaviest weight that you can lift to a certain exercise. You lift to fatigue in 15 repetitions, and this number is important. So, it's 15, it's got to be 15 every time. We're looking at volume. Every set, you'll have that 15 repetition mark, and you will complete a set. You will drop, hence the name, or reduce the weight, and then immediately complete another set. So, what it feels like is one huge monster set. You'll do it at least 4 times. Now, I think I've done this once or twice. I think I've done 5 or 6, maybe once or twice in 37 years. 4 is just the key. 4 is magic. Do 4. All right. So I might start with 3 plates on the weighted leg press. Then I do my 15 repetitions. I get up, I remove 2 plates. Now I'm doing 3 plates or one less, right? And then I remove another one and then go right away. So basically, it's a lot more like you're doing 60 repetitions, right, in a huge set. And although you're dropping the weight, what you will find is that first couple repetitions, oh, this feels really good. It's much lighter. And then by the time you get to 5 or 6, it's like, no, it's not that great, actually. I'm already fatigued. You've already got a bunch of blood flow and limited oxygen carrying capacity. So you're doing a lot of good each time. You do need to reach fatigue. Don't just hit 15 and stop. You should be at 15 and you've got to find what is that weight, but also don't stop at 12. You got to keep going. That is drop sets. So I frequently will use this strategy. When I'm busy, barely have time to complete a workout, I'll do it with a squat, a chest press, and a pull, say a bent over row. I can complete a short volume inclusive workout, which is strange to put those two things in one sentence for most people, in 15 minutes or less. So, this is one great idea also if you're exercising and you happen to be doing it at a gym and it's January. Do you know how many people want the same machines as you? And if you're concerned, I can't get back on it. If I get off and rest between sets, I can't get back on it. What happens is here in this monster set, you're not actually done. You're getting out, moving the weight, or changing the pin, so you're not even getting up or moving. And you then monopolize that piece of equipment. But unlike the people who monopolize it by doing their set and then scrolling through their phone, don't be one of those people. All right. So don't do this one any more than once a week when you do use it, because you want a variety of stimuli. You don't want to, always go heavy, heavy, heavy and do the same thing. Remember, if it's good, fantastic. It's good once in a while. It's not good every time. That changes whether or not it's good, right? So let's explore 3 other options. Supersets is the next one. Now, if you did purchase You Still Got It Girl, the first strength training videos that I ever created. Kind of went hand in hand with You Still Got It Girl, the book, and the After 50 Fitness Formula for Women course. This is a way to bump up the energy expenditure of a strength training workout by 33%. And that statistic is based on women in midlife, in menopause. So here's how it works. We alternate exercises of several ways to put this together. Could be opposing muscle groups, could be different body parts, and sometimes you use primary and secondary muscles. I'll give you an example, but the benefit is extreme energy expenditure compared to doing it any other way, and efficiency. So again, you can kind of monopolize. You've got your weight set up. You're going here, you're going there, you're going here, you're going there. You know exactly what's coming up, and then you're done, and boom, goodbye. Now, you could do this 3 times, but again, 4 times is a little bit better, more effective. We're going to get volume, and volume is oh so important for metabolism and for bone density, as long as you keep it heavy. So here are 3 examples of how you do this superset. Chest and a back exercise, that's opposing muscle group. So it's a push and a pull. an upper body and a lower body. Now, that would be best if you're just getting started, because what's happening is you give your upper body a break before you come back to do it. Unlike the chest and the back, it is opposing muscle groups, but it's still the upper body. You got a lot of blood flow coming back again to the arms, which are the movers to get to those muscles. So you get a little bit more break between upper and lower body. The third example is, say, a chest press and a triceps exercise. Both those muscles are involved, or both those muscles are involved in the chest press. So when you come back to the second set of chest press, you're going to be that much more fatigued, because even your secondary muscles, the triceps, are not going to want to play as much because they're fatigued. They've done two things: stabilized and then been the primary mover. So by the end of that, you will definitely feel that. You may feel your triceps again tomorrow too. But great examples of the fact that applying even one of these protocols, you still have lots and lots of infinite options to put them into play. The third option for time saving is called trisets. You're choosing 3 exercises and you complete them in a circuit 2 or 3 or 4 times. And again, you might guess the increase of the volume is what's really important. So I often do a 3 times 3 with major muscle groups, and I choose a push, a pull, and a lower body exercise. So you're going to hear me coming back to the same exercises very frequently. And the reason is, I'm going to go, if I'm short on time, for what I call the bullseye in the middle of a target, not on the extraneous circles on the outside. I want to hit the bullseye. I want to get the most return on my time investment. So I want metabolism, I want bone density when possible. So I'm going to load my hip, and I'm going to load major muscles like the glutes and the quads and the hamstrings when I do a squat. I'm going to do a chest press and include all those large muscles of the pectorals as well as the triceps, the secondary muscles. I'm going to do a pulling exercise to incorporate my trapezius, my latissimus dorsi, and my biceps as a secondary group there. So if I have a little bit more time, I will add a fourth exercise to trisets and that whole idea, and it will be, say, a core exercise. So it'll be the tri plus one, and the reason is there's ample time to recover then between. And here's something you want to remember as you're doing these: don't rush it. So you want about a minute per, and that will make sure that you have at least 2 to 3 minutes between challenging the same muscle group again. You need that recovery in between in order for your exercise to be the most effective. Now, if you're thinking, well, that's not what I'm used to when I go to boot camp, they do this and this and this, and we move really fast. And it's true. But tell me this: if you're here now and you were at boot camp, was boot camp getting you all the results you wanted, or why did you go looking for something else? Right? Okay. Next up, circuits. So this is the fourth. You choose 8 to 10. It could be fewer, but 8 to 10, you have 8 to 10 major muscles. You want to choose 8 to 10 exercises featuring them, and then you sequence them. And this is the art and the science of exercise prescription. Sequence them so you have about 2 minutes at least rest before using that same muscle group again. That should not be hard to do, but you've got to keep in mind we've talked primary and secondary muscle groups. So it's a little bit more tricky than you might think. You're going to perform each one using a combination of repetition range and weight that makes you or takes you to muscle fatigue. So if you are listening and you have some joint issues, you've got arthritis or fibromyalgia or a prior injury that suggests to you can't go heavy, even though you know it might fit your goals best, you've got to go a little lighter, do a few more repetitions. Amen. Then you know it. That is perfect. You know yourself very well. Then you're going to say, okay, my ideal combination is a little higher repetition range, maybe say 20, and a weight that reaches fatigue at that point. Not 15, not 12, not 10, where I'm going to get into a little bit more trouble, right, when I might risk injury. So it's almost always best to perform to muscle fatigue if you're a woman in menopause who wants muscle strength, lean muscle for metabolism boosting, and bone density. So you would complete a circuit 2, 3, or 4 times. Because let's face it, if you do it once, it's not really a circuit, it's just a list of exercises. So ideally on a recovery day. So for a client, for instance, on a recovery day, I might have them do 2 sets of, say, 20 repetitions, and that would be it. We call it a day. But on a day when I was really pushing a client, we might still choose that higher rep range, but I'd have her do 4 sets of 20, depending on what else was happening during the week and how it was complementary. Take a little rest between the exercises, meaning, and by that I mean take little, not take a little. So, meaning move quickly and efficiently between your exercises, but take your time and don't let momentum take over during the exercises. This makes circuit training very different from many boot camp style classes where you're just moving in a frenzy, not just between the exercises, but once you get to a station, they're asking you to do as many as you possibly can in a minute. That's a recipe for injury. So make sure there is always a form first in your mind, if not in the instructors. The idea here with circuits too is to boost your overall metabolism for the duration of the workout. It's not just that, though, right? It's not, oh, let's boost your metabolism by getting you to move as fast and as a frenzy state as you possibly can. The goal here is to boost your metabolism long term by reaching muscle fatigue with overload to the muscles that change your metabolism more permanently. Now, albeit, yes, you do have to continue strength training. You can't say, well, I'm going to change my metabolism permanently by lifting weights for 6 months. Because at 7 months, if you stop and say, well, there we have it. I've changed my metabolism. I'm now done. You will return, right? You're not going to hold on to that muscle without the stimulation. But listen to me, by that point, I can almost guarantee if you stick with it, you will feel the difference and be a believer. All right. So, time efficient exercise, like I've just mentioned, I gave you 4 options: the drop sets, the supersets, the trisets, and circuits. Time efficient exercise, like those options, will reduce your rest time between the exercise. It's what we've done. And as long as you set them up in the way I mentioned, you're going to be okay. There's no time to scroll on your phone here, babe. Okay. Maintain the recovery of a muscle group before using it again. Sequence is everything, and it will still allow you to reach muscular fatigue appropriately and numerous times. The idea here is to reduce your idle rest time. Get the volume and intensity that you need and allow for recovery of your muscle groups by strategic exercise sequencing. So if you're still a little confused on that and you want some help and need some examples, got you covered in the show notes. But there you have it. These workouts are the substance of my existence, literally. And my body composition, that has remained the same since I was about 26. Look, it's not about time. It's about what you do with the time that you have that matters. So if you're sitting here thinking, I don't have time to work out, and you've been thinking that for 15 minutes, still sitting there, you could have done the workout in that time. So, links to examples of how to do this from some Flipping 50 programs will be in the show notes. Flipping50.com/short workouts will get you to the show notes for today. And hey, I love hearing from you. It's really important to me that I know there's been some value in what I've done and taken the time to do. Because listen, I could be on a hike already. So I'd love to know, was this valuable? Were the examples giving you enough content that you understood, oh my gosh, I can do this? And you do. You have to do a little bit of planning to be there and be ready. You write out some plans by listening to this over again. Again, you can go to flipping50.com/short workouts. And if this was helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Leave your comment below the short workouts tab. And you can also thank me in another way. You can join the Facebook group if you've got questions, facebook.com/groups/flipping50 insiders. And that's a free public group where you've got access to me and the Flipping 50 coaches to ask questions, ones that I may use for a future podcast or will jump in and answer right away for you. And I also would love it if you find the podcast in your timeline and it is valuable to you, if you would share it. The more we spread the word, the more we change the conversation about our expectations in menopause and after and beyond and be after. That was a new word I just made up. Who knew? All right, there you have it. Can't wait to hear from you. What are you waiting for? Let's start flipping 50 today.